Yo, coming to you live on a Saturday night. On a Saturday morning, I should say, not Saturday night. On a Saturday morning, it is the Crossover Sports Podcast, episode 60. We made it to 60 episodes, or the year in 60. We're just rolling on, still rolling, dog. I'm rocking out with Amina and Matt, who have decided to join me on a Saturday. Or on a Saturday morning because the brother got that last minute hookup to a Jay Z concert last night. That's why we didn't have it yesterday. But here we are. So Amina, go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
Hi everyone, it's been a while. We haven't had a podcast in about almost 2 weeks, just about. But we got some things to discuss since the last episode, and some crazy things have happened in the media since, and we're going to talk about them. And the first episode is a new month, so enjoy.
Matt.
Uh, it's Saturday morning and I want sleep. No, but yeah, I don't know if it's slow sports day or what. But the bottom thing is, let's get this bad boy started.
All right, y'all. Y'all know how we start this. I'm your host with the most, Kylan. And we are rolling. But before we roll with our crossover hot takes, we want to cover some things that we won't get to cover today. Most of it has to do with the sexual assault that's been happening because we have covered that ad nauseum for the last 2 weeks, and Matt's tired of covering it, so we're not going to cover it. But we see you, Matt Lauer, who lost his job, and a little bit of our childhood took a shot today. Took a shot over this past week with that happening. So I'm glad the women stepped up, but I'm so sorry that Matthew Lauer actually did that to people, and probably should have known something was up when Aaron Curry just when he got rid of Aaron Curry. So, but you know, uh, here we are now. We see you, Matt Lauer. Uh, another
Russell Simmons.
another one after that. What's the one? They passed the tax bill last night. So for those of you that are sleeping and wondering why some of your more politically active friends are raging today, that's because they passed that disastrous tax bill while we were all sleeping, or if you were me, while you were in transit coming back from a Jay Z concert, they passed that tax bill. So that's why, and we'll get to that next week because we have a fully packed show, so we're not going to cover that today. Oh, and the biggest one that I know Matt doesn't want to talk about, but I think just proves what Alabama is all about. Roy Moore, a poll just came out, and now he is in the lead by about 4 to 6% now on Doug Jones. And then the other state, the guy that prosecuted the KKK for a church bombing would be leading. But this is Alabama, sweet home Alabama. There you go. We see you, Alabama. You have 10 days to correct yourself because the stuff is December 12th. You have 10 days to correct yourself before if nobody else does it, I'm gonna start calling y'all the state that loves pedophiles. Good. So now that that's over, crossover hot takes. This is our crossover hot takes where we talk about things uh that are sports related, but also we dive into the political, entertainment, and other realms. So we're gonna start with the thing that broke a couple days ago. So, guys, did the NFL effectively end the anthem protest by giving money to social justice organizations? I know Amina has a lot to say about this, so go ahead, Amina.
Of course, I got something to say about this. Okay, where do I begin? I saw it posted a few days ago, uh, this past week. What the hell is going on with the NFL? You cannot pay this movement away. You cannot pay Colin Kaepernick away. You cannot pay away the meaning or purpose of this movement away. It's hush up and go away money. It's equivalent to when police officers, no matter where in the country, black or brown individual, get off and they want to give blood money to the loved ones left behind. This is not money to help the movement. This is money to just say, here, take this money and just shut up. Stop, stop protest. Stop, stop the activism. It's ruining our ratings. This, that, and the third. No, just stand strong and say, no, we're not going to take that money because at the end of the day, if you take the money, it beats the whole purpose. You become a sellout. And I'm going to be paying attention to who supports this money that the NFL is trying to give. It's 100 mil. They better not accept it. The NFL, they real sneaky right about now. Their ratings are down. Their sponsors are getting blasted for coming out with saying how they truly feel about things. Kaepernick still doesn't have an NFL job. Yeah, they're trying to pay this movement away. This movement to the NFL became a parasite to them. Means to get rid of a parasite is to paralyze, pay someone to come in and bomb the place out. Y'all not going to pay this movement away. What is up with them? What the NFL should really do is sit down with individuals on these teams, players, all as fans, and see why the movement began in the first place in 2016 by Colin Kaepernick. I believe they know why the movement started. But if they don't, they need to be educated. This movement was started for a very, very, very valid reason. And the NFL has neglected year after year, decade after decade, season after season to speak up about this. All the rash of black youth we had gunned down by cops in the 8 years Obama was in office, the NFL didn't. We've had. Nobody in no political arena wants to talk about it because they're afraid for their jobs. But no, you're not going to pay this movement away and put a band aid on a situation that needs major surgery. It leads me to believe that obviously it's a confirmation that the NFL supports cops over youth of color that are gunned down and receive no justice via the criminal justice system in America. It leads me to believe that they support black youth being, shot down by cops. So my thing is, if these players are weak enough to accept hush money, I'm gonna be watching what they do or don't do, like I said. But if they go to the negative route and take this money, I think I'm gonna be done with the NFL for the rest of my life as an NFL fan. It would be that bad. You're not going to do that to people. The NFL doesn't support social activism, and that's a known fact. They didn't in the past, and they're not going to do it in the present, and they're damn sure not going to do it in the future. Sit down with people and try to even comprehend why this movement exists in the first place for nearly 2 years. Because if you do, I can bet you find out. That's why they're trying to get this money. But hey, they take the money, then hey, I just can't bring myself to watch
Me neither.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, you done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead, Matt.
All right, here you go. As far as the NFL ending the protest, a la Malcolm Jenkins, by throwing away what some people would call hush money. You know, look, you can take this any old way you like. You can turn this any way you want. You can turn this and say they're sellouts. And look, as this broke out, as you know, the one thing that uh, the I got 3-year-old, I got 5-year-old. The thing is, you know, you can take it any way you like. You can take it any way you want to. You can call them sellouts all you like, but the job number one was to bring attention. Job number one was to bring awareness to it. Job number one was to see to it that something gets started along the way. Now, here it comes. Now, my question is for all of us, people of color in particular, is what else do you want? What do you is if even if the reasons for protesting was not directly answered, but more indirectly done, what more do you want? What more do you need? What more are you looking for? What more would you want athletes of this caliber to do? I mean, look, we already got the fact that Trump opened his big fat mouth and pretty much screwed everybody else until his base not to watch football in the NFL in the first place. Yes, numbers will. Yes, and their ratings have fell. Their ratings have been falling anyway because people watch football games differently nowadays, and they're losing their sponsors and the whole life. The bottom line, no, not bottom line.
All right, well, Matt's a little bit indisposed right now, so I'll go, and then I'll let him finish. Listen, the NFL. I mean, just like Matt said, I kind of am in agreement with him. And I mean, like this is what they did was they came together. They realized that they couldn't end this the way they really wanted to with the strong arming in the league because they knew public opinion had turned on them as soon as Jerry Jones opened his big mouth. And this is as soon as Donald Trump got involved. So they had to do what they had to do, which is give money to a cause. Hopefully, they stay giving $250,000 a year to a social justice organization. Now, is that enough? I mean, that's half of what Colin Kaepernick's been giving. But this is to me, a good first step. Sorry, a good first step in trying to do something. Now, what I would like to see happen now that they got the money is I like to see players put more. And this is why I come with Amina a little bit. I don't like to see these players like Malcolm Jenkins give up their right now that they've got the money. I would have liked him to keep raising his fists, to keep doing more, to force the NFL to do more. Now, what I would do if I was the players, even though they're supposed to match it, I would go above and beyond and put pressure on the NFL. So if the NFL is giving $250,000 and they want the players to match it, I would, if I was the players, I'd double it and go to 500,000 or $1 million or whatever to put more pressure on the league to do more. Because this is why I agree with Amina. We can't just let the NFL just get away with saying, "Oh, we're giving $250,000. We've ended the protest, quid pro quo, whatever. It's over." Now a lot of people aren't going to kneel. What I would do if I was the players, as I said, if they were smart, they wouldn't just match it. They would go above and beyond so that when people say owners can know that this is not going away. Continue saying, continue doing more things, continue kneeling for the anthem, or continue doing stuff, because this proves that the players have power. This is the first time in a while the NFL players have actually had power. So if I was the players, you might overplay your hand a little bit, but what I would do is I double what the NFL is offering and put in $500,000. I would continue to do more. Continue raising my fist, continue kneeling. And it's unfortunate that some players broke off because they didn't agree with taking the money and ending the protest. I assume the part that they disagreed with was taking the money and still ending the protest, because I definitely think they could get more. But as Matt said, what more do you want now? We got this money from them. So for me, what I want them to have a little bit more power. I want them to do something, get something to make different things happen. Do a forum every off season. Let's do a forum between police officers and the community. Do that. Have the NFL sponsor that. That could happen. What else? What else could happen? Have something that says, y'all won't punish players for doing protests anymore. Give Colin Kaepernick a fair chance. Stuff like that. I definitely think that more can be done, but this is a good first step. As I say, I don't think they've effectively ended the protest. I think that what they've done is just do a short-term delay tactic until they fail on their financial donation, then it's back in the headlines again. Or if they keep Colin Kaepernick out, the ratings are continue to fall, because this all starts with Colin Kaepernick, maybe, and it needs to continue, and that man needs a fair chance. The NFL needs to keep donating money and keep doing more to help the racial injustice in this country do more. They're $1 billion organization. They can do a lot for this gap. So that's where I fall on it. I don't think it's effectively ended. I think it's a short-term solution for a long-term problem. Go ahead, Matt.
Look, this is what happened if everybody in the house at the same time. Ugh. Yeah, the thing is, what more could you ask for? What more could you want? You have portions of Black Twitter calling everybody a sellout. I'm like, look, at the end of the day, what you're gonna sit there and you're gonna hide behind your smartphone, PC, or what and the like, and you're not doing anything about it. But yeah, you will go downtown, free Meek Mill. Like, nigga, what's wrong? Sorry, you can hope you edit that out. What did Meek Mill done for you lately? I mean, at the end, look, you have so many things to worry about right now other than Meek Mill and the like. all these guys that are raising their fists, taking their knees for causes that we have been fighting for so long, and yet you worry about a Meek Mill getting violating his parole. Black Twitter needs to get itself together some way somehow, because what these guys were raising their fists for is for a legitimate reason. And even though the NFL pretty much gave money to X amount of causes, and I think it's, like Colin said, it is it's pretty much a band-aid in the wound, pretty much. So, and we're gonna watch. We're gonna. It's more. I'm taking a wait and see approach to see where this gonna go, where this going evolve to. If the NFL takes another social stand as to what these players were fighting for. So we shall see what happens. I'm taking that approach.
All right, so moving right along to the one that I know Matt's ready to go on. The Greg Schiano controversy at Tennessee. What's our thoughts? Does anyone want that job? Go ahead, Matt. Matt?
Come again?
Did you hear about the Greg Schiano? The Greg Schiano?
Well, I heard of it, and I don't like it, because here's why I don't like it. Tennessee's already a place where they've already took a lot of hits. Tennessee is one of the worst places you can go for any college sports job at this point. When they had their little coaching panel, if you will, talk about where it is they talk about, I forgot what it was. It looks, honestly, I thought they looked stupid in the eye of the public. Now, Greg Schiano, who didn't do well in Tampa Bay, albeit, comes back to college, comes back to college, finally gets a job, and then next thing you know, oh, wait a minute, you could have did something at Penn State during those, at the time that Jerry Sandusky was there. Let me tell you something. Let me tell y'all something. Hold on. Y'all got me talking. First of all, who in the world? Look, I was appalled. I was appalled. I was very much disappointed in the fact of what Tennessee did. So you're gonna tell me you're going to rescind or renege the man's job just because he didn't do enough, or look, from what I understand, the man had no knowledge. You know, he was just pretty much doing his job. But in this day and age, and I'm getting sick of it. I'm really getting sick of it. When did we start calling people's jobs all because in the name of morality? When did we start doing this, first of all, in sports in particular? Every person in this country has the right, not a right, every person in this country needs some type of living needs some type of job in order to make a living. I'm all over the place today. And you're telling me that you're going to pretty much yank this man's job from up under his feet all because of his time in Penn State and the timing in Penn State of all the nonsense that was happening. I mean, look, if you want to chastise and crucify every staff member that was there in Penn State in the last 40 years, you might as well. Or the entire time that's Mr. Sandusky was there, you could go right ahead. But at the end of the day, Sandusky is in prison. Joe Pa passed away. What? And if you cannot move on from that, you have a problem. It's time to move on. We've done moved on. We done close the chapter on that book. We wrote the last sentence. We dotted the last period in that story. Let it go. If you want to label someone as an enabler while all that happened, well, that's it's your personal problem in view. But if this man that you hired, that you brought in, is believe that he can do the job to help your football program get to where it needs to go, hire the man. But not based on this what happened, say, at Penn State. It is a disgrace. It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And also, it's not even laughable. It's just you just made Tennessee. You just make yourself just as bad as Penn State. You just make yourself look bad. You make yourself look stupid. And oh, by the way, side note: Penn State is like, rising out of the ashes. So, yeah, you might want to take some notes. They moved on. So should you.
Go ahead, Mina.
I wasn't aware of the situation, so I can't really speak.
All right, good. More time for me to rant. Listen, this Greg Schiano stuff. Listen, as Matt said, and I agree, we gotta move on from this. But let me tell you something. That Greg Schiano stuff. Don't get it twisted. That some Tennessee fans may care about that, but let's be real though. The reason why they didn't want him is because he was not the coach that they wanted. They wanted Jimbo Fisher, Kevin Sumlin, or a big name. They didn't want Greg Schiano, the guy who failed in the NFL, failed at Rutgers, failed everywhere. This whole fake morality stuff is just a smoke screen. Let me be real here. And to anybody listening to this as a Tennessee fan that actually care about this, you're in the minority. Because I've seen a lot more Tennessee fans on Twitter and everything, and sports analysts have pointed this out, that no one cared about Greg Schiano's pass until he got to Tennessee because it wasn't who they wanted. They wanted Jimbo Fisher or Kevin Sumlin. That's who they wanted. They didn't want him. So they got rid of him. Then the AD got backstabbed, and now a former quarterback or a former player at Tennessee is the new coach there. Heck, maybe now they'll hire Peyton Manning to be the Tennessee coach now. But they're gonna need somebody that actually played there to or went there to come in and redeem this situation. Just like how James Franklin, who went to Bloomsburg and was from that area, had to come back and redeem Penn State. It might take a black guy. Maybe Kevin Sumlin wants the job. I don't know how much he really has left in him for any SEC stuff. Maybe he needs to get away from it and go somewhere else because of how they backstabbed him in Texas. But right, Texas A&M too. But I think for me, if I was anybody, I wouldn't want the Tennessee job. I agree with Matt. Unless it's women's college basketball where you're guaranteed to have some time and you go and have good players, you don't want to be in Tennessee. Tennessee is a shell of itself. It is nothing. It is not worth anything to coach there. It really isn't. It's like going to Texas A&M. Shouts out to you, Jimbo Fisher, for leaving the best situation you had at Florida State to go to the third world football country that is Texas A&M, because there is nothing there for you. Sure, you 10 years and $200 million richer, but no, man, that's a horrible job for you. You're gonna see, man, because Texas A&M has. Sorry, I'm going off, but Texas A&M has unlimited, just like Tennessee. The Tennessee and Texas A&M are suffering from the same syndrome, an inferiority complex, a Napoleon syndrome, if you will, right? Because see, they're in the shadow of the Alabamas, the Auburns, and the Georgias of the world. They're not the big three. They're not even Florida, right? They're not the big four in the SEC. So, they feel they're not even LSU. They're not even in the top 5 of the SEC, right? They're at that bottom tier where Arkansas,
the SEC West,
right. But I'm talking about the SEC as a whole. I know it's the SEC West and they split it up, but the SEC as a whole, Texas A&M, Tennessee are at the bottom tier, right? So I know it's the SEC West. I know they're in Georgia's side of the SEC bracket. I know that. But no. They're not worth spitting on, both of these teams, Tennessee or Texas A&M. Tennessee is a little bit worse than Texas A&M. But Tennessee is horrible. Nobody wants it besides Peyton Manning. They might as well just hire Peyton Manning. Because that's about all that will take that job. Like, there's nothing worth anything in Tennessee right now. Nothing. I'd rather even take a Vanderbilt football job over coaching at the University of Tennessee, because they just really have too high an expectation at Tennessee. They think they're the University of Texas or something. They think that they actually have some pedigree in the SEC. They don't. Moving right along, unless you have anything else to add, Matt?
Nope.
Just Matt pointed it out too. We don't support. I forgot the disclaimer. We don't support any sexual assaults, any child abuse, any of that in this podcast. But I'm gonna end it like this: leave Penn State alone. Leave that stuff in the past. Penn State has risen up above the ashes thanks to the leadership of James Franklin. So leave them alone. And thanks to what the guy who ran to Houston did too. Who's the coach? Who's the coach for the Texans, Matt? Or Amina? Somebody remember who the Texas coach is? What's his name?
It's not Del. I don't think it's Del Rio. I don't think it is.
He's the Raiders coach.
It escapes me.
All right, whatever. But thanks to what he did and James Franklin, Penn State is back from the grave. So leave Penn State alone. Next question. So guys, we stayed away from the Donald Trump questions, but stuff broke yesterday that just was so just had to be asked. So guys, is 45. Is Mango Orange, is whatever you call him, in trouble now that Flynn pleaded and Jared Kushner is in Mueller's crosshairs? Go ahead, Matt.
He in trouble. I'm gonna tell you this right now. First, look. The roosters are the chickens are coming to roost. Plain and simple. It's funny to where you see, the Trump inner circle is crumbling before our very eyes. It's insane and funny to see Sarah. Oh, I want to Huckabee Sanders. Pretty much, lying through her teeth. It's like, Donald Trump said this. Oh no, he didn't say that. He didn't mean to say this. It's like, or oh no, that's not what happened. Like, you know what? Impeachment is impending, and I can't wait because you have Paul Manafort is calling. He's calling people out. He's calling people out, and the fact that first of all, Flynn took a deal. He took a plea deal. He took a plea deal for real. Honestly, for lying to the FBI. So it's only a matter of time when it gets to Trump, because you remember now you got Flynn. Yeah, look at Kushner. You got his son-in-law. You gotta look at one or two other people before um, before we get to 45. So, this is going to be hilarious, big time. This is going to be hilarious. I can't wait for this. So, oh, they're coming home to roost, big time. They're coming home to roost.
Amina?
Yeah, it came out in the media. Some reports say they had some type of involvement. Some reports I've seen said that they retracted statements. Um, hey, well, this is it's a situation where we have to, play it by ear. But I'm not too worried about it right now. It is what it is. It do. It don't. It don't. But at the end of the day, everyone that's in the Trump inner circle has the same agendas, so they're all the same. So that's what I gotta say. Ain't much to say right now, just reports.
Listen here, I'm like Matt, man. He in trouble. This is it, man. He got the big fish now. It's notable because Michael Flynn was facing a lot more serious charges than lying to the FBI. I think that was the lowest one. He was faced with basically being a foreign agent and not compliment and not telling the FBI he was a foreign agent when he was working for the campaign. So he was facing a lot of collusion-like charges and conspiracy charges and other charges that were low on tier for the FBI. I think they said he might have faced 20 to 25 years in prison. He was basically going to be up there with Manafort as far as how long he was going to be in prison. So, now that you know that he's planning on snitching on somebody, when Mueller's all like, all right, I guess we'll give you only 5 years in prison instead of 25 years in prison. And I am in federal prison at that, not where Meek Mill is in the low tier prison, but federal prison, right? So, you know, I think he's definitely in trouble. If I'm President Trump, I'm sweating right now. If I'm both people with presidents in their titles, I'm sweating right now because if you remember, Mike Pence was the head of the transition team because he took over for the fat blob himself, Chris Christie. So, he took over for Chris Christie. So Mike Pence knew all this. This is why I said I've never believed that Mike Pence is the idiot that he proclaims that he is, that he didn't know that Mike Flynn was a foreign agent as soon as he got hired. And I never believed that they fired him for lying to Mike Pence. I think the reason that he got fired was because he got caught. You know, it's like John Oliver said, man. This is stupid Watergate, yo. This is people that are too stupid to hide their dirt, and so they easily get caught. I'm sure. Former director Mueller, however he pronounces his last name, was probably sitting back saying, "These people are so stupid. It's so easy to get them, right?" And so now Jared Kushner is in his crosshairs because once again he's just lying, lying, lying. And I don't know what they're going to get him for, but I'm sure he won't be pleading. I'm sure the only way that they'll let him off is if he promises that he's going to snitch and give them Donald Trump. And so maybe this will end like Matt and I have called, where he'll have to either resign in disgrace and then be arrested or be arrested and then resign. I don't know how it's going to end, but I know it's going to end with either him resigning and no longer be a president, both of them resigning and not being president, or both of them being arrested. Because I know Amina feels that, if Donald Trump goes down, it'll be Mike Pence. I'm not really sure about that. I think that the big fishes that are going to go down are both VP and president. Because the last time this happened in Watergate, both the VP and the president went down. So I think that they're both going to go down. And I think that's why they're trying to get Tillerson out. That's why they're trying to get Pompeo out of the CIA. If you notice, they're trying to shift people around to try to save their behinds. But it's not going to happen because Mueller is smarter than all of them. So I definitely think that he is definitely in trouble, and that's just the facts. Sorry for you Trump supporters that you think it's fake news, you think it's a lie. It's beginning to look more and more like it's not fake news. And now we know that Jared Kushner actually told Flynn to contact Russia because they wanted to stop. They wanted to, and they did. They stopped Barack Obama from doing more sanctions. Well, not doing more sanctions, but basically telling Israel that they can't keep kicking Pakistanis out of the West Bank. And Israel had been mad ever since. But it is what it is now. So Donald Trump, you are in trouble, man. I would be sweating and sleeping with one eye open from now on, man. So going on to our regular topics. So guys, we'll start with Amina again. Is getting the NFL to give money to social justice organizations a victory or a loss for the players? Go ahead, Amina.
I feel as though it's a loss, especially in long term. Um, in the terms of being, in long terms. Um, as I said with the original question that centered around this, sorry about that. As I said in the original question that centered around this in the beginning of the episode, it's not a gain, it's a loss. I mean, this money is like I said, it's hush hush money. Take the money and shut up and in your protest. Rather than the NFL, like I had said, come to some type of table to open up discussions with these players and people in various communities that are impacted for the reasons why this movement started, they rather just give money and say, go away. It's not happening. Not on my watch, at least. But it's a loss because they're trying to just take away the players and people in the communities' voices and their right to peaceably assemble, which is what they're doing. It's not a gain, it's not a victory because the situations still remain. Sure, we haven't heard of too many cases of individuals being shot down by cops this year in 2017. It's been a few I've seen online, but it has been a rash like it's been in the last several years where it's nonstop back to back reports for various reasons. But the problem still is going on. You can't ignore it. You can't pay away the problem. Colin Kaepernick started his movement for police brutality against blacks and other people of color. The kneeling protests is about the Star Spangled Banner and the U.S. flag. All these things, all three of them, have meaning and purpose behind why people don't agree with them. But to pay the players money for this movement, it's not happening. Like I said, the equivalent of it is, giving somebody hush hush money after you did something to their relative and you got off in court. No arrest, no conviction, nothing. Just to say, here, take this money, be quiet, and enjoy your life. No, the situation still is going to remain no matter what. Instead of trying to pay off these players, why don't you come to a consensus and try to rectify some situations? Do some social activism, NFL. Not the players, they're already doing that. I'm talking about the real NFL, these owners, commissioner. I'm like, seriously, like, this is not good money. This is blood money. It's not happening. It's a loss. taking the players' rights away is not happening. Taking away the right to voice how they feel is not happening. Now, start with educating people about the true meaning behind the Star Spangled Banner, because if they did, I guarantee you that people won't even want to even utter any words of that. That's what I gotta say. But I'll be watching to see who takes this money, who doesn't. And I'll be able to make my move after that. But
All
I'm
right.
done.
Okay. All right. I think this is, like I said, I already made this. This is a short-term gain for long-term problem. So this for right now, to me, is a win for the players. Just because they got the NFL to do something. I think they could have done more. As I said before, they could get forums now that they could have at least once a year or twice a year between police officers and community members. Do a forum just like ESPN did and everything else, and get the president, get whoever on board to come through and talk and get people to talk about solutions and stuff. I think that could work. But it's definitely a win because at least they got something. Something is better than nothing. And as Anita said, there's different things going on here. They basically weaponized Colin Kaepernick's protest, and now they wanna both ended on both sides, and both have gotten what they wanted. But I just think that, as I said, it's a short term problem. It's a short term solution until something else pops off, which will maybe be in the next few weeks or whatever. Something will pop off, and then it'll be the same thing again. So, we have a lot of different things. But this is definitely a short term solution, as I said, to a long term problem. And as I said, they could definitely get more. Hopefully, the players do get more. The ones that broke off from the protest from the coalition because they felt like they were getting too much or losing too much. We'll do more, man. We're powerful now. You've got the money. Like I said, go above and beyond. If I was them, I'd go above and beyond what the owners are giving, 500 million. I mean, 500,000, a million, whatever. Match Colin Kaepernick's protest, and just keep it going, man. Get the stuff. Keep the mandate things, because now what it is we're laying the groundwork to the future strike that's coming. So it is what it is at this point. So they have to do what they need to do. And right now, to me, it's a victory for the players. Go ahead, Matt.
I think we've already covered this subject. I think we've already covered this subject because here you go. Now, whatever the NFL wants to do with that money, give it to charities and the like, that's up their problem. That's their thing. That's their prerogative. But at the end of the day, it's up to the players to do what they got to do. At the end of the day, it's up to what. After this point, you can raise your face and take your knee all you like. But what are you doing to the community, for the community? What are you going to take political steps even to to call senators, call congressmen to tell them what's going on in their communities, and then just take a knee and everything else. Yes, you have every right to protest because that's the First Amendment right to do so. However, at the end of the day, you must start at a grass. You already started the grassroots sides of things, right? So you've already started there. Now you got the groundwork has already been laid there. Now you got to continue to work in different areas and different ways. Even if you have to go before Congress to talk about what's been going on, the reasons why you've been protesting the way you've been protesting in the first place. Other than that, we've already answered this question. There, I said it. Thank you very much.
All right, then let's go to something that we haven't talked about. Question number 5. We haven't talked about Jerry Jones in a while. Jerry Jones dropped his threat against Goodell and his contract. Does this make Goodell more powerful than Jones? I'm starting. Roger Goodell, he won the stalemate between him and the so-called and the so-called most powerful owner in the NFL, right? But he made Jerry Jones tuck his power and his money, tuck his power and his money like dudes tucking their chains in the hood. He made that man run away with his tails between his legs back to Dallas because Jerry Jones was reading the tea leaves, carefully leaked stuff about how the owners were considering getting rid of him. And Amina knows that I've been calling this for a while, that Jerry Jones is more isolated than he realizes. He's kind of like Donald Trump. He feels like he's got all the power, but in reality, he's very isolated. And that he will go down if he keeps trying this. And he read the writing on his wall, and he tucked his tail between his legs like a coward. Like I said he would. He tucked his tail between his legs. He cowered it out. He realized that he lost the moral high ground in the battle. And he's not used to that. He's not used to losing. His team is, but the man himself is not loose. Is not used to losing. And it's just a horrible day, a horrible couple weeks, couple months for him because he's losing. Roger Goodell won the power struggle. Roger Goodell is now more powerful than even Jerry Jones. And I think that's a scary thought for these owners, man, because Jerry Jones was just throwing everybody under the bus. And the only person he made stronger was Roger Goodell. And this is coming back to bite Jerry Jones and the rest of these owners royally. First, he got rid of Tom Brady for 4 games, pissing off Robert Kraft, and now he's pissing off, and now he pissed off Jerry Jones and made him less powerful too. It's just he's just making all the Trump supporting powerful owners just tuck their tail between their legs and just take it and bend over like the players. And it's just really funny. And like I said, there's definitely going to be a strike because of this, because the owners are losing power and the players are gaining power, and the guy that they put in charge to keep their power is siding with the players. This is a scary thought for the owners, man. The owners are in trouble, dog. If he's rallying to the player side and acting more and more like his father, man, the owners are in trouble, man, because this is looking bad for the owners. And Jerry Jones, man, Jerry Jones, like I say, he's not used to losing. I can just sum it up like this. Jerry Jones is losing. He's not winning. And he's upset. And he's not doing what Amina's favorite owner did. He's not winning at anything. He's not winning. He's not doing it. And he's not used to this. And he's, like I said, more isolated than he realized. It's kind of like Robert Kraft had to realize last year that you're just isolated. You're losing. You've lost. You're out of touch. You old owners are out of touch with the new NFL. And the way it works now, you thought that you had the boy by the puppet strings. You thought he was a puppet, but it's turning out Roger Goodell is not as big of a puppet as Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones thought he was. Go ahead, Matt.
You knew what you got in this man, Roger Goodell, the moment you gave him the job. The fact that, and Kyla said it clearly that y'all thought that Roger Goodell would be a puppet. Nah, we've seen clearly time and time again that Goodell is pretty much. I'm not gonna say he's God, no, but it makes Jerry Jones look stupid. I mean, the fact, look, we've seen this before. We've seen this time and time again, like Colin said with Al Davis. Challenging the NFL. The only difference between Al Davis and Jerry Jones is Al Davis had balls. He sued the NFL. I mean, he looked out for what's best for his team, and of course the NFL didn't like it. But Al Davis was more of a maverick versus Jerry Jones, where basically both men had their best interest in their respective franchises. But Al Davis was more calculated than Jerry Jones. So let's start there. It doesn't make Goodell more powerful or less powerful. It doesn't make Goodell a better man or a worse man, in my view. However, it it shows how much power Jerry Jones wants to have, and how much power how much say he wants to have, as far as the NFL any owners is concerned. What Jerry Jones needs to be concerned more about is putting a respectable, winning, consistent product on the field instead of this mediocre atrocity that the NFL has been seeing for the last 20 some odd years. I mean, don't get me wrong. As an Eagles fan, I mean, it's good to see that the Dallas Cowboys as a franchise is a sideshow. But if you're the owner and you know your team's a sideshow, you must do something about that. And not yes, and on top of that, it was his fault, Jerry Jones, that Zeke's suspension is where it is and when it is now versus it should have been taken care of uh, way before the season, before not before the first half of the season at least. Roger Goodell has pretty much been it's been a lot of it's been hit or miss, mostly more miss than hit as far as all as far as allegations, with the with excuse me, not allegations with the concussion, CTE, with um this jurisprudence has been running rampant in the NFL. I mean, geez, why think they called it? Why think they called it NFL, the National Felons League? So as far as I'm concerned, you know, this man here, he ain't more powerful. Look, Goodell ain't no more or no less powerful than Jerry Jones. Okay, no more or less at this point. The thing is, he is the commissioner of the National Football League, the National Felons League. He is the commissioner for I don't know for God knows how long, another year or two. He need to worry. Jerry Jones need to worry about doing his job as the commissioner. I mean, as the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and get rid of that GM title. And as far as Goodell is concerned, he needs to worry about the state of the NFL right now, and not put patchwork on everything. Because yes, you are a multi-billion-dollar or private institution right now, and unfortunately, this squabble hopefully has ended. Because if Jerry Jones wanted to be commissioner, he would have found a way either way. But we ain't seeing that happen no time soon.
Amina, go ahead.
I followed I followed what both of y'all said. What Matt said, how neither one of them have more power or even less power than the other. And I followed what Kevin said about how Jerry Jones is basically, sure he's an NFL owner, but it's basically him versus the other 31 teams. To be honest. Um, I mean, it's just Jerry Jones. I mean, you don't get no more interested than that. Um, I don't think that Jerry Jones wanted smoke, to mull over and to his media beef, if I so will say, with Goodell to go any further. They just dropped it. I mean, Jerry Jones, he doesn't have the balls to, really do anything major from my perspective, opinion. But Goodell, he is the commissioner, as Matt said, so he is more of a level up. But neither one of them are more powerful. I mean, they're basically two of the same type of people, on different sides of a coin. But Jerry Jones, he's out there, by himself. He's got his own little culture over there in Dallas. And it is what it is. But neither one of them are more powerful than the other, even though Goodell is the commissioner. But that's what I gotta say.
All right, y'all. The next one. I'm glad. Kept myself unmuted. Cowboys versus the Washington Redskins, or the team from Washington. Our analysis of it. Go ahead, Matt.
Slop. That's all I got one word for you. Slop. One-sided slop. All the Washington franchise had to do was take care of the football, but they did not. It was slop, and all this they had to do was win the football game, and the Eagles got, I don't know, the NFC East, but we gotta do it ourselves in Seattle on Sunday night. Finally, the Dallas Cowboys were playing like the Dallas Cowboys for once. I mean, they finally used something they haven't used in a while. Oh my gosh, a running game. Now, if you watched the last few games of the Dallas Cowboys, you notice that the running game has been pretty much almost non-existent. They went to the pass a lot, but finally they went to the running game. It helped me out with my fantasy team. And to see a Dez Bryant sighting for some Cowboy fans, for many Cowboy fans, is a happy delight. But don't get it twisted. Kirk Cousins played poorly. He didn't but not just Kirk Cousins. The whole entire offense just played terribly. What was it? Four turnovers in the whole entire game. And I mean, the way that game was played, in my view, was sloppy. One-sided slop. But the Dallas Cowboys cleaned themselves up and ran the football. Took care of the football. And Dez Bryant finally came out of his hole for once. I don't want to hear no more Dallas Cowboy fans talk about, say, we back. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I'm gonna put this out there. For all you Cowboy fans out there that thinking y'all gonna run the table, that is the most delusional thing I've ever heard in my entire life. You're not going to run the table. You are still in the hunt. You have not gotten your sixth or fifth wild card position, so y'all got a whole lot of season to go. Y'all are not gonna run the table. Don't tell me, don't play yourself like that. If you have something to say, come see me at Small Red Horn on Twitter. Because I'm telling you this right now. Yes, the Cowboys played well on Thursday. They played well. They ran the football. They found ways to give the ball to Dez Bryant and everything else. But don't get it twisted. Y'all have a long way to go, and getting to the playoffs is y'all gonna need some help. Y'all not gonna run no table at no 10-6. Y'all done lost y'all done live in some dream world that doesn't, or some parallel universe that we know nothing of. I'm calling it, Colin. I'm calling it here. The Dallas Cowboys will not, I repeat, not make the playoffs because the NFC South is too tough, even for those Dallas Cowturds. But they did play well on Thursday, finally knowing what they do best: run the football. What I thought they were going to do during this suspension with Zeke. You run the football, you give Dak a chance. But it took them, I don't know, Atlanta, Philadelphia, the Chargers, 4 games to figure that out. It took you 4 games to figure that out. All right, let's see what happens from here on out. Next.
Mina?
Yeah, a um Cowboys, they woke up. I mean, the last several games they've had, they've been asleep. I don't know what's been going on with them. Um, slug the Redskins like they did. Like, damn, Redskins, what's up with y'all? Um, Cowboys, they they've been suffering, this season with the lack of presence from Elliott, and it's been showing in their gameplay. And like Matt said, they don't really have too much of a chance at the playoffs because of how the other divisions are really set up strong this season, especially that what's that division he said? NFC South. Yeah, they're really stacked up. But Cowboys, they ran the ball. I think they forgot how to run the ball their last few games, but they woke up. Redskins, they fell asleep and they didn't really show up too well. It was a very interesting game to watch the replay. It really showed individual weaknesses. It did, but they'll be fine on both ends.
Well, yeah, I mean, as far as the Cowboys versus the Deadskins go, listen, listen, it really was what it was. Matt was very astute, and so was Amina when calling this a sideshow because what it was two very dead teams. It was basically the game of the Walking Dead. That's really what it was. The Deadskins are already dead. The Cowboys are dead for another couple games until Ezekiel Elliott come back. And by the time he come back, it'll be too late because they'll face the Seahawks, and the Seahawks will probably be mad because I'm calling it now, even though that question is farther away. The Eagles are going to beat the Seahawks, and I'm going to say that the Seahawks are going to be mad, and so they're going to put a whooping on Dallas because Dallas has no defense. I mean, that's what it was. It was two dead teams. One team just learned how to be the running dead and run the ball with Alfred Morris and the other running backs they had. But you know, the Deadskins are dead. Kirk Cousins hurt his money on Thursday by not playing well. I mean, he's gonna have some openings now. He's gonna have an opening in New York. He's gonna have an opening in San Francisco and Houston. But Kirk Cousins hurt his money, man, by having the poorest performance of his NFL career against the Cowboys. I always thought you get up for rivalry games. Apparently, the Deadskins didn't get the memo, man. They played horrible. I had to turn that game off. I'd rather watch the Christmas tree lighting ceremony at Disneyland. I was between that. I was all like, NBA. All right, that's a blowout. That was the Boston Sixers. That was a blowout. So I turned that off. So I was like, okay, well, let me see what's going on with the Deadskins and the Dead Boys. All right, nope. Well, the Cowboys, which is great for my fantasy team because I had Des Bryant on it. He showed up finally. That was great for me. Turned that off. Then I went to the Christmas tree light ceremony at Disneyland because I'd rather watch that than watch two blowouts in two different sports. So, I just, like I said, it's two dead teams. No, Matt's already, but I've already said on this podcast, you can play back the tape at Kyler W. Watson for all you Cowboys fans that got a problem. Y'all been dead since they suspended Zeke, and as we said in the previous topic, that's the fault of your owner who loves sideshows, loves freak shows, and loves all this other stupid side business stuff. That's the fault of him. So, the Cowboys are dead. The Deadskins are dead. They're both dead. I don't understand. I don't understand why so many people are dead. Like the Cowboys have been dead, are dead for the next 6 games until what's his name come back in late December. They're dead. It's all they're dead. That's it. Meaning you trying to say something?
Y'all man's Jeffrey on the Eagles just got a big contract.
We were going to talk about that. You breaking the line here. But I saw that. I saw the breaking news. We'll get there.
I'm about to say, stay away, kid. Look, bottom line is simply this: you make this clear. You come at this man's Twitter, you come at my Twitter, at Small Red Horn, and speak your piece. But the bottom line is simple: the opportunity to submit yourselves, Dallas Cowboys, to be in the playoff, to put yourself in a better position in the playoffs was against the Philadelphia Eagles, and you did not take advantage of it. Toodles to you. Toodles to you.
All right, so we're gonna move on. Amina kind of jumped the gun, but breaking news: Alshon Jeffrey got a contract extension. He's gonna be here until 2024. So he got a 4-year deal. So yeah, what's our reaction to that? I'll start. Alshon Jeffrey, man, he's proven that he's proven what Donovan McNabb proved when he got Terrell Owens. When you have a franchise quarterback, you need a franchise wide receiver, and that's our franchise wide receiver. He's bigger than T.O., 6'3", 6'4". So I'm happy, man. And he's proven what he can do when his quarterback is not that walking disaster. Speaking of zombies, that walking disaster, Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler is a disaster. You want to talk about a real-life zombie? That's Jay Cutler. He is a robot. Dog, he's like Keanu Reeves in the movies, dog. He is robotic. When your quarterback is not Jay Cutler, what you can do, man. Alshon Jeffrey is a great asset to have for the Eagles. They now have a very much solidified wide receiving core now with Alshon Jeffrey. And then I think they have Torrey Smith for the next 2 years. I know that'll be debatable because I think Torrey Smith has been okay this year. And I think actually maybe Torrey Smith should be in the slot and maybe Nelson Agholor should be the number 2 wide receiver. Oddly enough, because y'all know how I despise Nelson Agholor, but he's proven me wrong this year. So maybe Agholor should be the second option, and maybe what's his name should be in the slot. Maybe Torrey Smith should be in the slot. That's my opinion, but hey, they don't pay me to make decisions. But I'm happy. I'm happy for Alshon Jeffrey, and like I said, he's proven what he can do when his quarterback isn't that walking disaster, Jay Cutler. Matt.
I was just looking at Twitter just now, and you see Alshon Jeffrey signing that contract and everything, and it is true. It does go to show that you need a physical receiver with a top flight, quarterback, particularly a franchise quarterback. Crazy, great things will happen, and we haven't seen this with just McNabb and T.O. We've seen this with Peyton Manning and Marvin Harrison / Reggie Wayne. We've seen this also with Steve Young / Joe Montana and Jerry Rice. Unless your name is Tom Brady, you're part of the machine and part of the system. But it does go to show that the Eagles are committed to putting their chips in one by one to get the ultimate prize right now, and that's to win the Super Bowl. That's to win it all. And Harry Roseman, kudos to you, kind sir. Kudos to you for putting together this beautiful, beautiful football team right now, coming out of the ashes from Chip Kelly. But we're not going to talk about that. No. But you know what? I'm excited. I mean, and also, this wide receiver core. Look, Nelson Agholor stepped up. He immensely this season. Torrey Smith, we've seen in flashes and in bunches, but we've seen that he's not playing for a contract no more. But we expect that Geez, get my ahead of myself here. We expect that Alshon Jeffrey production does not wane because now he has his contract. Like we're 10-1. Let's keep the momentum going. And I had a shot about Jay Cutler, but what's his thing? Kind of like took that thunder a little bit, but that's okay though. That's okay. But other than that, it's I won't say it's fun, but this team is becoming more solidified as the season progresses.
Amina, what's your thoughts? You can also give us the Raiders update.
This is good for the Eagles. I mean, it gives them more stability because of his nice contract that he got. He'll be able to be with the team longer, and he'll be able to contribute more. And the money's the guaranteed, so part of his money is guaranteed. So he's definitely going to get it. And I think they should give other players on the team more money eventually. I think Carson Wentz should get a nice contract, more money. Um, but it adds more stability for the team, as I said. And congratulations to him. Like, he's done his work and he got his due money. And for my team, on the other hand, I know we've been going through some type of things this season, but I'm looking forward to this game against the Giants on Sunday on our turf at the Coliseum. Um, Giants were playing a team where Eli Manning will not be playing. Um, he got benched this week, and I think Eli Manning's career is, hanging on a thread at this point. And we playing this new guy we ain't never played before. And it'll be an interesting game on Sunday because we rarely play the Giants. So it'll be good to see how we play with New York. I think we're going to win. But that's my update.
Yeah, man, she not confident that her Raiders.
I am confident. I'm taking it. I told you I'm taking it one game at a time.
I know you are. I know.
But we're playing the Giants on
But
our turf, so it's more of a home advantage.
I was about to say you're facing Geno Smith, so your confidence should be up. I mean, you're facing the weekend.
It is up, but when your team has had the season that mine has had, you got to take this one game at a time.
Very true. Very true. Oh, we didn't even talk about Eli Manning getting benched. Oops, that's my house. That's my landline. We'll talk. Let's go there. Matt, what do you think about Eli Manning getting benched for the PI?
It's a disgrace. It's a bona fide disgrace. And here's why it's a disgrace. Because, first of all, the way that the New York Football Giants handled that debacle of a nightmare that is benching Eli Manning was a disgrace. Look, everybody knows, including Eli, knows the fact that this team is dead in the water. There are 2 and hold on. Oh, I was about to say. But sorry, but I got thrown off a little bit. It's a disgrace. It's a disgrace because this team, the Giants are dead in the water, and you want to see what you got for the next season. I get that. I understand that. But Geno Smith, though, Geno Smith, really, Which, oh, by the way, the New York Giants. Hold on, Geno Smith, really, Geno Smith. You want to start Geno Smith. You know he's not going to be here next year. You might as well start the third string guy I forgot his name, over Geno Smith because, frankly, you need to see what you have. And at least now, Peyton Manning took the high road on this one like a very classy athlete, but they did that man wrong. They really did that man wrong. Geno Smith, though, who, by the way, now the New York Football Giants is the last team to have a black quarterback start for them. The last team. You know, the way they mishandled it was inexcusable and wrong. And normally, the Giants are the classiest organization in football. When you look for a team that's personified class, it's the New York Giants. And what they did to Eli Manning was flat out wrong. Ben McAdoo needs to be fired today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Today, he needs to be fired today.
Amina?
I remember I just spoke.
All right, well, I'll finish it then. Listen, this is what I think about the peons benching the Eli Manning. See, that's the new thing. We're not calling them Giants anymore. They're the peons. The peons. What I think they did, man. They're not as strong as they used to be. Everybody in the top three positions that is not Eli Manning are trying to save their job. David Reese and Ben McAdoo is trying to save his job. Unfortunately, Ben McAdoo should have been fired, you know, and now he's on his way out, and now they disgraced the last great Manning to play football, Eli Manning, and now he'll probably go to Jacksonville. They've already said he asked for his release. He asked for his release last week or whatever it was. He found out he was getting benched. So, you know, I just think that unfortunately, man, the Giants, the peons, whatever you want to call them, they haven't handled it right, and they hired they did what most teams do, hire from inside. This is what happens when inside hires go wrong. This is why you need to have a full coaching search. Why inside hires go wrong. Ben McAdoo is not a good hire. I mean, two NFC East teams are suffering because they hired from within, right? You see that. You see that now. You know the Cowboys are suffering because they hired from within, and so are the Giants. And both of them have, well, the Mara family is a lot more active than the Cowboys, and the Cowboys like more active as far as with the sports and the decisions than the Jones family. But it's horrible how they treated a guy that won you 2 Super Bowls. Now I may think the first one was the luckiest Super Bowl ever, but you know he still won 2 Super Bowls for you. 2 against the Patriots. He still won 2 Super Bowls for you. And the way you disrespect this man, who comes from a great football family, is so disrespectful of the name and what he's done for you. He should have been gone. Matter of fact, if you knew you were going to suck this year, by the trade deadline, you should have just traded him. Just saved his dignity, man. Because he's playing for probably the worst coach he's ever played for in his NFL career. All he's given that franchise. And Matt and Amina know I don't really like no team from New York. But all that man's given to this franchise. This is how you're going to treat him? You're going to bench him for Geno Smith? Geno Smith. The guy that was a disgrace to the Jets. You're going to bench you're going to bench Eli Manning for Geno Smith? That right there would have made me ask for my release. Man, that's horrible. That is horrible. Horrible.
I can see why the defense ain't playing nor tackling. I can see why because of that nonsense.
Horrible. All right, we're gonna move on to the next big rumor. It's been confirmed by some big sports reporters that the 76ers are ready to risk it all for LeBron James, and they think they have a great shot at LeBron James. What do we think about that? Will LeBron come to the 76ers? Matt?
You know what? I'm not laughing out of disbelief but it's the fact that the 76ers got so much money and they're at a position where they can take it to the next level as of right now. It's not. It's feasible. It's possible. I'm not gonna say yay or nay to it, but I'm not gonna go, oh my god, we don't get them. We don't get them. We don't get them. No. Because remember, you have to look. This is side note. Let me get on my soapbox for a little bit, and I'll get back to this topic. I cannot stand NBA fans who say trade this person, trade that person, trade this person, trade that person for this thing, then the third, knowing not full darn well about the cap situation, draft situation, and the like. This is not NBA Live where the trades are on and there's no whatever. Okay, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work. It has never worked that way. Not before, nor since. So I want all y'all NBA nutcases to understand the fact that if you understand capology and understand how general managership works in the NBA, stop putting these stupid trades proposals on Facebook and social media, because it's stupid, it's dumb, it's outrageous. Okay, now let's get back to LeBron James. As a Philadelphia fan, right? The fact that the Eagles are playing sky high, the Flyers are disappointing right now because they can't buy a win to save their lives, and the Phillies got pretty much got an upgrade in the manager position. The Sixers right now are in a good position to spend money. I mean, the process is working. I mean, the fact that we tanked for seasons, and I know Stephen A. Smith hates the idea that we've tanked for seasons, but at least the Sixers, Sam Hinkie, God bless his soul, set aside draft picks and money to get to this point, to get a top flight free agent to take this team to the very next level and beyond. Now let's remember this. LeBron James is about 33 years old right now. Okay? By the time let's say if he does get here, he's 34. What valuable asset will he give to a young franchise that is the Philadelphia 76ers? My thing is this: he can give the knowledge, because you're not 24, 25 years old anymore. The knowledge, the wisdom, the mentorship that this team desperately needs, learning how to win. And by the way, this team still needs to learn how to win, even though we're 12, even though we're over 500, and we're fifth in the what's that place called? Fifth in the East. This team still needs to learn how to win, and this team is still going through the process right now. But as far as it to hear this rumor and to validate it, it's surreal. It's very, very surreal as a Sixer fan. But honestly, I can see this happening. I can see it happening. But it's a matter of the nuts and bolts of how much money this team is willing to spend in order to get a superstar free agent to land here, like a caliber of LeBron James. And look, for all you non-Sixer fans, for all you I don't believe in trust in the process people, you need to get on board right now. Now is the time. We're taking applications, we are accepting applications, and we are bringing you in. Do not jump on this bandwagon just because the king somehow, some way has arrived. We are taking bandwagon applications right now to speak. But remember, once he gets here, we're shutting it down. Plain and simple. We're shutting it down. Okay. Look, we got another draft pick in 2019 with Sacramento. We need them to stink like massive balls right now. But look, it'll be great. This place will be. You talk about Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. We don't know Markelle Fultz and another draft pick on top of that. You got Dario coming off the bench. Rocco. I mean, he struggled. He struggled against Cleveland, but still, the fact that Carson Wentz is his favorite football player right now, and this fan base is buzzing, dude. I can't wait. We're taking applications right now. We're accepting calls right now. But remember, once he gets here, applications are rejected because we all have trusted. We have trusted the process. The process is here, and trust me, it's gonna be great. With or without LeBron James. Hashtag trust the process. Thank you.
Amina, go ahead and talk about your favorite topic.
Y'all funny. Exactly what Matt said about concerning LeBron possibly coming to Philly.
Bandwagon fan. We are accepting bandwagon fans. We're accepting bandwagon applications. We sign them up right now because when he gets here, shut down city.
I already have a team. I don't need to bandwagon on nobody else's team. I'm good. I'm just trying to knock these Rockets off their horse. Anyway, what's going on? As Matt said, LeBron James, he'll be 33 this month, December, which means that he'll be a free agent this coming summer when he's getting ready to be 34. So it's not so much his playing ability that'll be a focus if hypothetically he comes to Philly. It'll be a focus. I think it'll be, as Matt said, the knowledge and wisdom that he can embark on this young team to get them to win because Sixers this season, I believe it was last season, they play games so well in the last quarter, the last minute or two. It's like they fall off. It's like they be winning games and then they lose games by like a point or two. So I believe with LeBron James' experience on the Cavaliers and the Heat, he can embark on them the know-how on how to actually finish games to where the buzzer ends and they actually win. Because I believe with the Sixers situation is that they get so excited that hey, we got all these points, this, that, and third, we're leading, but I believe they give up at a certain point. But I believe with somebody like LeBron James, that he could probably show them how to complete a game. But it's more so of a knowledge and wisdom factor he'll be on the team, not so much as for his skill. But we shall see. I mean, it's just rumors. It's just reports at this time. We won't know anything until after June of where he'll go, what he'll do. But we'll see what happens. I mean, he comes here, he comes here. He doesn't, he doesn't. But if he does, it'll be a different, city for him, so to speak.
Listen, I'm telling you right now, 2018 has the potential to be the year of Philadelphia. I'm telling you right now, if the Eagles find a way to get back to the Super Bowl, 11 years to the day that they actually went the last time, or 12 years to the day that they actually went the last time. I'm not saying that they will make it. I'm just saying that they do, and they have a chance to win. And
13, because it was in 2005. Next year will be 13 years.
let's just picture it now. So the Eagles find some way to get to the Super Bowl and win it hypothetically. First off, once the city's done burning down, and then not literally burning down, but y'all know what I mean. Once the city's done that, and whatever happens after that, if the Sixers find a way to land LeBron James and or another big name free agent, let's say a Paul George or somebody else in that small forward position, if they land that kind of player, this city will explode. It's already at a fever pitch right now just with the Eagles. Can you imagine if the Eagles have that young dynamic team that they have, and the Sixers have the youngest team in the league, but they add LeBron James to it? Admittedly, even though it's his 15th year and he's having his best season ever, declining LeBron James physically, maybe not in game, but physically. Now you add that, and Matt mentioned mentorship, and I've been saying this for a while off air. I mean, knows I've been saying, Matt knows I've been saying it. People have been all like, why will LeBron come here? What does LeBron James want? He want a young team so that he don't have to do all this stuff. The reason why he has to do so much for the Cavaliers is because Kyrie isn't there and everybody else is old around him. Now, if you put him on a team with a Joel Embiid and a Ben Simmons, by the way, who LeBron James is mentoring, Ben Simmons is LeBron 2.0. Basically, that's what LeBron envisions him as. If you could imagine that, and you put him on that team with somebody who he is mentoring and a big man. Now, let's be real. LeBron hasn't had a big man since he played with a declining Shaq, but he hasn't had a true young big man. He got a true young big man, and he don't have to do nothing. Let me tell you what will happen if the Sixers get him. LeBron James, y'all think Joel Embiid is bad when he don't play games? Let me tell you something. LeBron would be on the Joel Embiid schedule if he came here. He'd be playing one game, missing like 5 of them, the rest up, and letting Ben Simmons, Joel Embiid, whoever we add in the draft, just do their thing. And it would be great for LeBron James to come in because, like Matt said, they need to learn how to win. And apparently, Brett Brown and his 5 rings aren't enough to help the Sixers learn how to win. So, if that doesn't help, then getting a player like LeBron who could come in, who has the rings, has the respect. But I want to throw somebody else out there who's going to be a free agent next year, even though it's even less likely to happen. But I want to throw somebody else who's been connected to the Sixers, who the Sixers have been trying to get. I just want to throw this out there. I know it's going to hurt him either, and Matt's going to say it's blasphemy, but we've stolen a sharpshooter from California before. I want to talk about my man's Klay Thompson.
Blasphemy.
Listen.
Don't you say that out your face. That's blasphemy. Get that out the air.
My man's Klay Thompson. Now, everybody knows that the Sixers have been trying to land Klay Thompson for a while. Matt knows for about 2 to 3 years we've heard the rumors about the Sixers trying everything they can to get Klay Thompson. Now, can you imagine with the money we have, that we could even come close to what Golden State is offering Klay Thompson next year? I'm not saying he'll leave Golden State. I'm not saying that. But just imagine with all the money the Sixers have, if the Sixers, instead of putting it on a 33-year-old LeBron James, go to somebody else who knows how to win and wants to be a superstar on the team, and can actually be a superstar, because even though Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are stars, they're not superstars. He can come to the Sixers and be the superstar. Now, he won't be the man, but he can come and be the superstar and be the leader on the team and learn how to win. He's everything that the Sixers will want. Young. He knows how to play defense. He knows how to win. Just imagine that. Now, I know they haven't been able to confirm the Klay Thompson rumors yet, but Matt and I know the Sixers have been angling for Klay Thompson. So just imagine that.
Stop coming from my French buddy.
Oh, be quiet. You know it's not gonna last. I like the Golden State Warriors. I'm just saying. I'm just spitballing. He's gonna be a free agent next year, 2018. Maybe he's tired to go to State. He's probably not, but maybe he is. If the Sixers come and call him with, let's say, a 5-year, $200 and some $1 million deal, whatever they can offer him, instead of paying it to LeBron James, Just imagine that. But on this
Let's put it this way: at the end of the day, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again, the Philadelphia 76ers have money to spend because of the years of tanking. They did not spend the money. They saved the money. They got draft picks because of said not spending money. And by way of saving money and telling us, the fans, that we're going to pretty much go into tank mode for a pretty long while, but bear with us. We're going to do, when we get out of this, we're going to be good for seasons, not for a flash in the pan. We're going to be good for a very, very long time. And, yes, Stephen A. Smith may disagree with the fact and the notion that we tanked seasons, and you know what? I don't give a Rasputin, because as far as I'm concerned, we are reaping the rewards. We are reaping the benefits of Sam Hinkie and those draft picks. Trust the process.
Matt knows my one concern with the Sixers and tanking is that I didn't like the fact that they were basically taking a Houston Rockets approach. And everybody remembers the Rockets when they had Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon and all the people that they had that they got through drafts and trades and everything. My one concern was that only lasted about 5 to 7 years. And my concern with the Sixers taking this Houston Rockets approach, now I know now they're taking the Phoenix Suns approach, which is even worse. But with the people that they have running the organization now. But, I want them to make sure that they can keep Ben Simmons forever. Like make him a lifetime Sixer. Make him be the same thing, lifetime Sixers. And make sure that this don't collapse on them like it collapsed on the Rockets and the Suns. If you remember how long into the Rockets dominated the league until about 93, 94. They didn't start dominating again until 98. Then it took them a while when Yao Ming was there. They were in the playoffs, but every year for them has been like 4 or 5 years. And the Suns are still sucking because their GMs didn't have the long-term view. So I want the Sixers to have the long-term view. I want LeBron James, but I really don't want them risking it all for a 33-year-old LeBron James who may only play maybe 2 or 3 or 4 more years. I really don't want them doing that. But if they got a chance, then go for it. But I want them to use that money on somebody who's young and can mentor the team. This is why I said Klay Thompson or Paul George, somebody who knows how to win. I would much prefer Klay Thompson or LeBron James, but somebody who has rings and can show this team how to win. And there's only 2 free agents that fit that bill: Klay Thompson and LeBron James. So if it's not one of them two, then don't waste the money. We need. See, this is why I said we need Klay Thompson. We need Klay Thompson. We need a player like Klay Thompson and like a LeBron James, but we need more a Klay Thompson type player, somebody who's accurate from 3-point, because that's what we're missing. Somebody who is deadly from the 3-point range. If we have that, a 3-point range shooter, we can put. Because everybody know I hate this because he's not Giannis Antetokounmpo and he keeps proving it every day. I want Ben Simmons where he belongs as a small forward, not a point forward. And we can have Klay Thompson on the wing or whoever, or Paul George, somebody on the wing playing shooting guard who can shoot and who can play defense, because that's all we're missing, somebody who is a lockdown defender. Ben Simmons isn't there yet. He'll get there, but he's not there yet. That's what I want. And so if LeBron James can come here and do that, more power to him. If he can, because he's proven that he can shoot this season. So if he can come here and do that, be the shooter and the lockdown defender, then he can come here. But I would much rather have Klay Thompson or a Klay Thompson type player who's won rings. But we need somebody who can come in here as a free agent who knows how to win and who's got rings. Because obviously Brett Brown can yell at them until he's red in the face, but he's not on the floor. So we need somebody who's got a ring and knows how to win. We need a Malcolm Jenkins type player, a person who's got rings and can come and just change the culture of this entire team. That's what we need. And I know Amina's tag. Just got her tag on Facebook. She's probably talking about how much I'm blaspheming her Warriors, but it don't matter. So Matt, Give me your predictions, man. We're at that time of the year now. Who will be the last 4 teams in for the NCAA playoff? We're finally getting to college football. Go ahead, Matt.
Let me tell you something right now. Before I begin, this college football playoff scenario is a joke. I'm gonna say this right now. It is a bona fide joke. With that being said, here you go. Look, I thought I had Georgia in there, but I don't think so. I don't think Georgia's going to be in because of that loss. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. I really don't know. I was thinking Ohio State probably, but Wisconsin's been slowly making noise on the low. So if anything, I think Wisconsin will get in. I'm not very confident in Georgia, but if they win the SEC championship, they'll get in. Who's the I haven't really kept tabs on college football like that, but I know for those two, I know if anything, it's Wisconsin. You gotta look out. You really have to look out for. So I gotta catch up on this today because I honestly this whole thing's a joke.
Go ahead, Amina.
I ain't got much to say about the NCAA playoffs right now. I'll see how it pans out. I wasn't keeping up too much with college football up until a couple of months ago, so I can't really speak on it.
All right. Well, that gives me more time to rant. Matt, check out her Facebook. She's not behaving anymore, man. She over here bleeding blasphemous. She's not behaving.
She killing me too in different areas too, so don't feel bad.
Listen. Listen. As far as these 4 teams, man, I think it's going to end up just like it was last year with one key difference. I think you'll have one team from the SEC. I think you'll have one team from the ACC. You'll have one team from the Big Ten. You'll have one team from the Big 12. And I think Matt's going to love this. I think that this will be the first year where the defending champion will not get in. So I'm going to pick Miami, who beats Clemson. So Miami will get in. I think Miami gets in once they beat Clemson today at 8. I think Georgia wins the rematch against Auburn, avenging that loss and winning. Because remember, Alabama needs to chalk to not hold in order for them to get in. And so I want this to be the year Alabama doesn't get in because I'm sick of these weak teams getting in when they don't deserve to get in. So I think plus I want some bragging rights come Sunday night. So I think that Miami gets in, messing up the chalk for Clemson, and Clemson doesn't get in. I think that Georgia beats Auburn, messing up the chalk for Alabama, and I think that Oklahoma beats TCU. I know that game's going on right now, so Oklahoma gets in and benefits from finally having the Big 12 championship. I think that Wisconsin gets in because Ohio State. Every team from last year, basically the last 3 teams that made it in are weak this year. Ohio State's weak, Clemson's weak, and they're all weak. And Alabama's weak, and they're all weak on the same thing: defense. They all suck on defense. Alabama's problem is they don't have a good quarterback and they don't play defense. That's what their problem is. And so they don't deserve to get in. Name should not. The 3 teams that I mentioned, if they do get in, they'll get in on name recognition alone, and it'll be a terrible playoff. So I think that Clemson won't get in. They'll lose to Miami. I think the only person that won't be upset this weekend in these championship games will be Wisconsin, because Wisconsin's just gonna destroy Ohio State. So I think that I think that's what's gonna happen. I think that those would be the four teams: Wisconsin, Georgia, Miami, and Oklahoma. So I think you're gonna have the U return. I don't know if they're gonna win the championship, but I think they'll be in the playoffs. I'm not really ready to pick my championship yet, but I think that they will definitely win, and get in. And we basically have our 18 playoff. Now I know Matt said the playoffs are a joke, but basically every game today is a playoff game for all those teams that I just mentioned, except for Alabama, because Alabama got to have people lose to get in. So I'm excited. This is the first time where Alabama has to depend on somebody else to get them in. And I hope the chalk doesn't hold. I hope Miami beats Clemson, so we won't have to worry about Alabama getting in. I hope Georgia beats Auburn, so we definitely won't have to worry about Alabama getting in. Because I'm so sick of Alabama always being in the playoffs. And only being there because they're like the Dallas Cowboys because they have that name. That name. Haven't won anything in a while, but have that name. That name. Alabama. That name. You know. All right, we're gonna move on to our last couple topics. We're gonna move on. So, guys, Blake Griffin got injured. That's another big time. It's another big time injury in the world of basketball. So, I think we asked this question about the NFL. I don't think we asked this about the NBA, but Amina or Matt can correct me if I'm wrong. But are injuries ruining the NBA season? Amina?
Injuries aren't screwing up the NBA season bad to the point where it's like so tanking. But what's happening is injuries are contributing to the fact that the season started earlier than usual. So it's put teams in different boats because they had to reconfigure their off season and practicing and all that. The injuries have been kind of crazy, but not off the wall. A lot of injuries to the lower parts of their bodies. The players, there's a lot of ankle and foot injuries. Some got finger injuries. It's putting teams in situations where they didn't think they would have been in. Um, it's definitely impacted the power rankings. I mean, it's teams that are struggling right now that I thought would do pretty okay right now in the season, but injuries have impacted that. Um, I think for next season, they should just go back to starting the season when they usually do because this experiment didn't go so well. I mean, we started the season in the preseason with a rash of injuries, and it kind of was a collision. But it's okay, but it's not where it should be as far as these injuries. I mean, almost every week you hear about somebody sitting out because of an injury, getting injured. So it all ties into the fact that they started the season earlier than usual. I mean, it threw the balance off, so to speak, the balance of their schedules on these teams. So I mean, we'll see, but the season is definitely going in a different direction than it would have.
Go ahead, Matt. Matt, you there?
We're talking injuries, right?
Yep, the NBA.
What happened?
Yes, in the NBA.
I'm just saying we're talking injuries, and and people worry about it was making the product good or bad. Injuries happen. They're going to happen. In football, it's 16 games. In hockey, basketball, 82 games. It's going to happen, and it's something that you're gonna have to accept. Now, I don't know what people are asking or want to do. It's like we want put these players in some plastic wrapping or something like that. And hope, pray to God that their favorite player doesn't get injured. It's part. It's part of the game, and we forget that in the NBA, like the NFL, is a team game. And in basketball, it takes about 5 guys on the court to get to the main objective, is that's to win the game. If people feel slighted that their favorite player is injured, then that sounds like a personal problem to me. Because, look, injuries happen. Injuries do happen. And a lot of players do take care of their bodies to make sure that if they're in the top shape, they're in tip-top shape, they're in game shape. Now, freak injuries do happen. Reoccurring injuries do happen. But it shouldn't diminish the product that is their respective sport or league. It shouldn't have to be that way. People feel differently. It's like, look, I came here to watch my favorite player, and he's injured. Oops, sorry. I mean, you cannot, you have to expect that. You have to expect that. That is part of the game. That is part of what happens when you play a sport of any level. You may tweak something a certain way or do something a certain way, and for one reason or another, your body gives. So, for anyone that says, "Well, it's hampering the product," like, it may hamper it for temporary reasons, but it shouldn't be the sole reason for, we're losing money, like that. Like, it happens, and it's up to the player, it's up to the individual to make sure they rehab and get back to the playing field or court or ice, so they can play at their highest level.
Let me just say this, right? Obviously, I think injuries are sort of ruining the NBA season. Why do I say that? Because there are teams that have really been hampered by these injuries. Let's look at the LA Clippers, right? Now, the LA Clippers are hampered by a lot of things. One is missing Chris Paul. I was about to say Paul George. Chris Paul. And to add to that, their star that they put $500 and $160 million into, their franchise player, Blake Griffin, he injured his patellar or one of his leg muscles. He injured that again. Or he injured his knee last year. He injured it again this year. So it's another recurring knee injury thing for Blake Griffin. Now, he's been a pretty injury-prone player, but he is a star, and he does add value to the Clippers. Now, the Clippers have sucked this year. Both LA teams sucked this year. But a large portion of the reason the Clippers suck is down to 2 reasons. One, missing Chris Paul. The other reason is Blake Griffin isn't there, and everybody's relying on DeAndre Jordan. And we all know DeAndre Jordan is an offensively limited player. So, and it's hurting the Clippers to a point where now they might have to consider trading DeAndre Jordan and going back to being the laughing stock of basketball again, right? And, it's definitely injury prone. Now, obviously, it depends if it ruins your season or not, because everybody thought, I didn't, but a lot of people thought that the injury to Gordon Hayward, the one that started the NBA season, would ruin the Celtics. And obviously, it didn't ruin the Celtics because the Celtics are the best team in the NBA. But that's the difference. See, the Clippers aren't built to handle an injury like that. The Celtics are. They have Kyrie Irving. They have Jason Tatum. They have other players. They have Al Horford, other players who can step up. The Clippers don't. This is my argument for why it ruins the season, because for real, injuries show the haves and the have-nots in the NBA, in the NHL, and in the NFL. Now, look at the Eagles. The Eagles are going to come up a lot in this podcast, right? The Eagles are built to last. The Eagles, Howie Roseman, kudos to him, did something that Chip Kelly didn't do. He added depth in the offensive line so it could survive an injury to, I'm about to say, Trey Thomas. Speaking of another good left tackle that we had. But Jason Peters, the Eagles are able to survive that. The Eagles are able to survive the Jason Peters injury because they have Big V, right? And he's proven to be a great player, and Jason Peters is working with him and helping him to be the best left tackle and future replacement for him that he can be, right? But and then you have, Darren Sproles got injured. Luckily, the Eagles added a lot of running backs this year and kept 4 running backs just for that. They had depth, and they added Jay Ajayi, so they had that depth. But that's what I'm talking about, the haves and the have-nots. That's what injuries show. And it kind of does ruin the season a little bit because it shows you the haves and the have-nots. Now, as Matt said, injuries do happen. But some injuries, like in the NBA, as Amina said, it does have a lot to do with them starting early, but it also has a lot to do with these teams not planning for this. When you have players that are injury-prone, like Blake Griffin and everything else, like the Warriors, Steph Curry is injured a little bit. He got a broken finger or something with his ankle again. Kevin Durant is having reoccurring ankle things early in the season. But the Warriors have that depth. They have Klay Thompson. They have Draymond Green to pick up the slack. But I'm just saying, there are teams like that. The Sixers are well adapted because now they have Ben Simmons to be able to somewhat survive if something happens to Joel Embiid. Knock on wood. I'm not hoping something happens to Joel Embiid. But, if something happens, they have some depth to help them out with. And, but again, the haves and the have-nots in this NBA season are showing up. The Celtics have, the Clippers don't. So the Sixers have, the Clippers don't. The Sixers, the Warriors have, the Phoenix Suns don't. You think if something happens to Devin Booker, the Phoenix Suns can survive? No. It's like I said, it just shows the haves and the have-nots. So yeah, it does ruin the NBA season. It really does. So moving right along, unless Matt or Amina have anything to add, we're going to move right along to Captain Sucking Place himself, as Amina would call him. Tiger Woods is back in the PGA, and golf is interesting again. I'm going to start. So what are my thoughts on Tiger Woods being back? You know what? I'm excited because it's been too long. Golf has been interesting, but I haven't been watching it. The rise of Dustin Johnson and the other players who have been rising to bring a golf revolution back in United States golf. But I haven't been watching it. But now Tiger Woods is back. Now I'm going to be interested again. For all Tiger Woods has done, and I know Amina's going to go into why she thinks he's lost because he played golf with Donald Trump last week. But, the Eagles, wow. Tiger Woods is back, and golf is interesting again. Whether you like him or not, hate him or love him, he adds some interest into the golf world, man. Golf is interesting. People watch golf when Tiger Woods is playing. People don't watch golf when only the true people that really like golf continue to watch golf when Tiger Woods is in play. And kudos to people that are true golf connoisseurs. I'm not, and I'm only watching when Tiger Woods is playing. And so I'm happy that he's back. I hope that, I'm not going to call a major win or anything, but, it seems like he's motivated. Last time I checked, he was a couple strokes off the league. He's off the lead. He's under par. Like, he seems like he's doing well and he's motivated. So I want to see a motivated Tiger Woods play golf. So I'm happy with that. And, Captain Sunken Place is adding and making golf interesting again to me. So that's what I think. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, remember what I said in many podcasts ago that if Tiger Woods were to go out, it'll be on his own terms. Now, it's because the way he plays and he holds himself as an athlete is at a very high bar. Now, for him to come back, rehab from a back injury, And albeit the man played with Agent Orange, um, I think it's good to see Tiger again. We have to remind ourselves that the Tiger that we've known, loved, and accustomed to seeing won't be the same Tiger. He's just not. I don't have much. I don't have much expectation. Excuse me. Expectations as far as what he will do. However, however, let me see. Can't think right now. However, at the end of the day, very much at the end of the day, here's how it rolls. Here's how it's gonna go. Um, hold on.
All right, Matt's indisposed. I'll bring him back later. Go ahead, Amina. Talk about your boy. Amina.
That's a good boy. But anyway, okay, he's back playing golf. That's all fine. He's doing okay. His life is, I guess, rebuilding after what's been going on with him for the last several years, probably 10 years. It just depends just about now. But the man is associating himself with Donald Trump. And I'm just not talking about golf. The man is helping him build his businesses and hotels overseas. That needs to be talked about. Um, what's the purpose for it? What's the meaning for it? Why is he doing it? Did he vote for him? Does he support his policies? Um, what's going on? I mean, I heard reports that Trump is building a hotel in Dubai, and Tiger Woods is helping him with that. When you're a public figure, you have to really watch who you associate with in the public eye because it taints your reputation. Watch who you show your allegiance to. Now, his golf career is okay, it's fine. It's not where it was years ago. But to come back out in the media, in the spotlight, and be immediately identified as associating and hanging out with and taking pictures with Trump, it's not a good look. Not a good look for the reinvention or reinventing of your career, Tiger Woods. Come on, Trump, really? Of all the people you could associate with, go play golf with, spend time with, that's who you choose? Mm, okay. Could see him playing golf, but there's other questionable things concerning you that lead me to believe that you're just lost for good. But hey, we'll see what goes on as time goes on. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I already said what I think about Tiger being back. I think Matt had to go to a rehearsal at our church, so I don't think he'll be back. So we're gonna move on. So Colin Kaepernick got the Muhammad Ali Award from Sports Illustrated. What's your thoughts on that?
It's beautiful. I mean, like I've said time and time again on podcasts before, Colin Kaepernick, he stands on the shoulders of those that came before him. And those are Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, Hank Aaron, Satchel Paige, Muhammad Ali, Tommy Smith, John Carlos. He stands on all their shoulders. They paved the way for him, including Muhammad Ali. Um, I don't think Colin Kaepernick met Muhammad Ali. I don't know whether they did or not, but Kaepernick did have a recent sit down with Tommy Smith and John Carlos. They gave the young brother some beautiful words of encouragement, support, and gave them their history, straight from their mouths. So for him to be given an award with that's named after one of the people that he stands on their shoulders, it's truly remarkable. It's like a culmination of what I've been saying time and time again, how Colin Kaepernick is going to be this generation's martyr in the sports community. Every generation has one. People are going to be talking about Colin Kaepernick when he's no longer physically here, living anymore. He cemented his life in society. They're going to have his name in history books, encyclopedias, this, that, and the third. Children will have school projects where they're going to be talking about him. This movement is bigger than you, bigger than I, bigger than us. It's bigger than we. It's even bigger than the man that started it, Colin Kaepernick himself. And first he got the GQ magazine Citizen of the Year. Now he got the Muhammad Ali Award. It's going to keep coming. He's going to be continuing to get accolades, and people are going to continue giving him his props. I mean, he sacrificed his career for something bigger than himself, and it's paying off for him. And he's doing well in the community. I like him, as I've said in a few podcasts before, to start doing lectures and speaking at commencement graduation ceremonies. I like him to start doing interviews, really get the ball going. 2018 will be here in 29 days, roughly. So I want 2018 to be his biggest year yet. For many years to come, I want 2018 for Colin Kaepernick to continue showing himself and to truly be out there. I want him to go farther in life. But this is a beautiful thing for him to get an award with Muhammad Ali's name attached. It's like he's really done it for himself. At 30 years old, he's doing things that people 2 to 3 times older than him could never do or never imagine. So he's living his purpose in life. He's fulfilling his role that God created him to be in society. And I congratulate him for everything. I love him. I support him. I stand with him to the end. Congratulations on receiving another award.
Yeah, man, you know that this is anybody who listens to this podcast consistently knows that this is a pro Colin Kaepernick podcast. I'm very much I share the thoughts of my sister. I'm very much uh, in line with Colin Kaepernick. I was very much ashamed when my alma mater decided to silence the voice of dissent at the football team. The football coach decided to silence the voice of dissent at Auburn. That just shows the legacy of Colin Kaepernick. The fact that you are doing something that most people despise. You're not even. I'm going to talk about the bigger legacy, not just athletically, but he's in the stance of the the OG of civil disobedience, the black OG of civil disobedience, the one who laid the ultimate foundation for Muhammad Ali and the rest of them, Dr. Martin Luther King. Dr. Martin Luther King was a man who was after Jesus' own heart as far as civil disobedience and being a rebel and destroying the civil disorder of the day. The ultimate rebel, Dr. Martin Luther King. And he is in that line because that was Martin Luther King's line. If you're not gonna give the man gonna lend voice to the voiceless, then it is the 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 promise, not even the promise, but the what word am I looking for? It is the responsibility of the people that have a voice to be the voice for the voiceless, and that's Colin Kaepernick, man. He is in that vein, and Martin Luther King got it from Gandhi. Now, a lot of people may disagree with Martin Luther King. I know some people fall one way or another. They like Rebel Malcolm. They like, or as I like to call him, and some people may think this is disrespectful, but this is very much what he was. The you might and history agrees with me. You might like Elijah Muhammad puppet first version of Malcolm X. Some people follow on that. Some people think they need to have it both ways. They like Malcolm X, or they either like Martin Luther King. But I tell people all the time, what version of Malcolm X do you like? Do you like puppet Malcolm X, or do you like Mecca pro after Mecca Malcolm X? And as I said, I like both of them, but I'm just saying, he's in that vein of Martin Luther King because Martin Luther King was that kind of person that would do all that, would be that person that would disturb civil unrest. Martin Luther King stopped almost made a bus company go out of business because he refused to support that bus company because they would take our black dollars but wouldn't give us the respect of letting us sit on the front of the bus. So, that is Colin Kaepernick, and I'm so happy my brother won the ultimate honor of having an award named after the ultimate sports figure, that being Muhammad Ali or Jackie Robinson. He won the Muhammad Ali Award just after, as my sister said, getting the GQ Award. And I know I just got controversial talking about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, so add Kyler W. Watson if you got a problem with what I said and you don't know your history. If you don't know your history, don't at me. And I am happy for my brother, and I share the sentiments of Amina when she says, "I hope 2018 is even bigger. I hope 2018 starts by royally pissing 45 off, and I hope even though now Time Magazine is owned by the Koch brothers and their organization, I still hope that they give them a big kick in the balls too by naming Colin Kaepernick Time Magazine's Person of the Year for 2017 or 2018, whichever one it'll be. I really do hope that, and I can't wait. I hope he gets Person of the Year. I hope they let him present a Grammy. I hope, as my sister hopes, that he starts doing the college lecture stuff. I hope that they just give him that voice. I hope they let my brother make his money. I hope he goes into broadcasting if he can't get back in the league and start sharing his story. It don't matter if he worked for ESPN, Fox Sports. It don't matter as long as he can get his story out there. That's what I want them for my brother. I hope he makes 2018 the year of his story because they won't let him play football. Then let him get his story out there. He's already started with the book. So the next big thing for him is Man of the Year. So I'm calling it now. He'll be Tom Person's Person of the Year. And really be a kick in the balls to 45 and the Koch brothers. You have anything to add, Amina, before we move on?
Yeah, I think he's gonna get time of the year. I mean, like you just said, I, I mean, they don't release who it is. I think it's the 6th of December or the finalists or whatever, something about it. But if he does get time of the year for 2017, it's gonna be the biggest FU to our president, and I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna love it, and I can't wait. I really think he's gonna get time of the year, person of the year.
I do too. I think that's why. That's why I say I think that's why the Koch brothers organization tried bought time, and I hope that even though they are not owned by conservative donors, I hope they don't make them Fox News too in magazine. I hope that Time Magazine, even though they are now owned by rich conservatives, I hope that they still name Colin Kaepernick the Person of the Year, just as a big fu and a kick to the balls to both of them.
Oh, I'm
So
gonna love it if they do.
so so come 4 days from now, we have 4 days or however long. It'll either be early December or late December before we find out. I'm excited. So now we're gonna move on to our last topic: Eagles versus Seahawks predictions. Mina, what's your prediction? Eagles versus Seahawks. Who you got?
Um, Eagles, that's what they are this season. I mean, think, what's our record? 10-1 now?
Yeah, we talk about
Um,
the game. We talk about the game tomorrow night. What's your predictions?
oh, um, I think the Eagles are going to win. Um, what is it, a Eagles home game or road?
The next 3 games are road games. This is the first start
Okay,
of the road trip.
okay. So they're playing with the Seahawks at their turf. I think the Eagles might win, continue their win streak because the Seahawks have had these unfortunate injuries, and the team is basically being held up by a very few people, including Russell Wilson. Um, Eagles, they're just trying to get to the playoffs for the first time since 2005 when they went to the Super Bowl last. Um, the Eagles, they don't have no injuries from what I know.
2013 was the last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl. I mean the
Huh?
playoff. 2013 was the last time the
I'm
Eagles.
talking about I'm talking about the goal they're trying to reach.
Yeah, you said postseason though.
Yeah, the last time they went to the playoffs and landed into the Super Bowl was the '05 under Andy Reid. You know, Terrell Owens and um McNabb era, all that. But I think the Eagles are going to win that game against the Seahawks. I don't think it'll be a major blowout. I think it'll be just a chill regular game. But the Seahawks, they're kind of, they're not massively struggling. I mean, they're not last in their division, but they are having unfortunate injuries, and some people might get cut from the Seahawks this off season. So we'll see. But I think the Eagles are going to win.
Right. You want to talk
Eagles
about
want Eagles want to go to the playoffs, so they're going to try to win all their rest of their games except for one.
I'll be quiet. We're gonna beat y'all on Christmas Day. Y'all
Oh
not
no,
y'all not even ready. but
leave
but
my guys alone. Let me have a moment.
listen, we ain't even on that game. We taking it one game at a time. But we got so the Eagles. You want to talk about games? I mean, to talk about games that she nervous about. This is a game that I'm a little bit nervous about for the Eagles because only because they got to go up to Seattle, and we know how loud that stadium is, and they haven't been to a stadium that loud on the road since the Kansas City Chiefs, and that was the one game that they lost. The one in the 10-1 is the Chiefs. So, and they have a loud stadium, and the Eagles struggle in loud stadiums. Now, granted, most people don't know this season that the Eagles are a better road team than they are a home team, which I know is kind of amazing to say. But the numbers show that a 10-1 team is actually better on the road than they are at home. But the Eagles will definitely win this game against the Seahawks. It'll definitely be a closer game than a lot of Eagles fans are closer to having. I think it'll probably be 30-20. The Eagles win. Listen. Don't go into this game expecting a defensive struggle because the Seahawks, as Amina pointed out, are hampered on their defense. They've lost most of the Legion of Boom. Matter of fact, all of the Legion of Boom. Everybody's injured in their secondary, so expect Carson Wentz to throw all day on the Seahawks. But it's definitely going to be a shootout because, like I said, the last time the Eagles lost, they faced a mobile white quarterback, that being Alex Smith, and this year they have the ultimate running quarterback, that being Russell Wilson, a man who won a Super Bowl on his legs. So the Eagles have not faced a challenge like Russell Wilson. It's not like Dak Prescott where you can frustrate him into staying in the pocket. Russell Wilson will do what he wants to do when he wants to do it. So that's why I'm a little bit nervous for the Eagles. But the Eagles are getting healthy at the right time. They have their secondary. They have their secondary back now. Ronald Darby has come back. So I'm excited for the Eagles. I'm not saying that they're gonna lose. I'm just a little bit nervous because the Eagles aren't used to dealing with a very fast, mobile quarterback like like Russell Wilson. So, but I'm definitely excited for this game, even though I'll miss most of it because we have stuff going on at church that night. But I will be able to keep up mobilely, and I know Amina will help me keep up. But it's gonna be a good game. Like I said, 30-20. That's my prediction for the score. The Eagles have to finish up the AFC West. That's what they're doing these next two games. They're facing them, and then they're facing the Seahawks this week. Next week is the Raiders. So they'll be on that West Coast swing this week. So definitely look forward to that. I definitely think the Eagles will win. Will win both games. The game against the Rams will probably also be a shootout. So, but I'm excited. I hope the Eagles defense proves me wrong, but I think it's going to be a shootout because I think the Eagles defense, even though we have the best front seven in the league, I think that the Eagles will find it hard to tackle slippery Russell Wilson. But as I said, I think Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson come through. The defense stops the Seahawks when they have to, and 30-20. That's the score that I'm going with. So yeah, guys, that wraps up our Saturday morning episodes of the Crossover Podcast, episode 60. Let us know because we're looking for a new time because for you Trey fans, he started a new job, so he works most of the time. So we're probably going to switch our time so that he can join us again. And Courtney's going to be back as well soon for you Courtney fans. And we're just having a good time. The roster's coming back. Speaking of getting healthy at the same time, we're all young. We're all in our 20s except for Matt. But we're all young people. We're all trying. We're all under 9 to 5s that were or 8 to 3s that keep us very busy. So we're working out the work schedules and everything. Plus it's the holiday season. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. The shopping season for those of you who partook in Black Friday and Cyber Monday. But we are fully in the holiday swing now. Christmas games are coming up. College football is wrapping up. College basketball is back in full swing. Woohoo's all us college basketball fans. So yeah, man, and I want to thank Amina and Matt for rocking out with me early on this. Not really early, but late Saturday morning. Let us know this is the time that you want us to go to at Kyler W. On Twitter. But yeah, I think we'll either choose Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. It all depends because I know Matt has a busy rehearsal schedule, so maybe we'll go Saturday night. Our original time slot is Saturday night. But that's how this podcast started. It was a Saturday night podcast. So maybe we'll go back to that. But definitely thank you all for supporting. Whether you're watching now or you're gonna watch later, thank you for your support. Definitely, this is like I said, the realest podcast on the internet. There's no bias, no nothing. We just give you the real on everything. And some people may say we say blasphemy because we want certain people's players on our teams, but it is what it is. So we're gonna do what we want to do. Like I said, thank you, Amina. You guys have a great rest of your weekend. Deuces. Always stay up, stay blessed. Peace out. Good weekend to all, and to all a good Saturday night.